I love tequila, Jimmy.
Yeah, you do like tequila.
I could never say no to tequila.
Well, that's very kind of you to think.
Don't cover this. We can clean it up. So there's many rules for reasons. And it's okay to paint over the lines. And sometimes when they're still wet, if you put water on them, clear water, you can get the paint back up. Or you can sometimes scrape and get the paint up. I'm going to do an augmentation to this design. I'm going to add a line right here. That will now close this box. And by closing that box, I can fill in this space. So I can fill in this space. And I will probably have to use black or gold to cover these paint overs. You want to go really, really slow. And you want to saturate color. Sometimes you have to go over it a couple times. That's okay. That doesn't matter. But you want to fill in the whole space. You don't want to leave gaps. You want to fill in the whole space. You're going to go slow. There's nothing... It's just not worth it to go fast and then have issues. It's just not... It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'll show you. Normally would use a bigger brush, but I really want to saturate this color. Your paint should be like wet toothpaste, and then you get a nice bold color. I need to move this up a little bit. So that I can paint without it getting in my way. There, now I can paint in. This particular style of charter is done in Latrell and also in Macclesfield. I have a little Macclesfield book here somewhere. Where is it? I'll dig it out. And it shows me ideas I can use on how to paint these areas properly. Not everybody's into, there is a creative part of SCA, and creativity is in the design. It can be in the painting. If you, painting within the boundaries of the design is a real challenge, because you have to know the inspiration piece for these. And when you know the inspiration piece, you can see what the artist intended. And sometimes, once you understand what the artist intended, then you can kind of play with it. You can play with different colors. Now, see how saturated these colors are? I have already painted over this particular charter, and you'll see up here, I need to repaint because I didn't get all of this covered. This is not proper style for this. All of these, anything that ends in with these circle pieces need to be gold. But with the color that was used and some of the other issues, I wasn't able to do that. So in order to save this particular charter, I need to paint over everything in a high saturated color. Again, I wasn't able to cover this yet, but I'll do some more painting and see if I can get this colored. Now there's several places here where I'm going to try and scrape off or use water, try and lift the color. I'm going to do the very, very best that I can. Like in places like this. That wasn't me, but I'm going to try and clean it up. And you want full saturated color. Now, if you look closely, there's a little dot of purple right there. I did that. I can go back in with my blue. And I can fix that. And even though it's going to be a little bit darker because it's on purple, when I do my white work, that will be covered. Oh, see, here's a little bit with the red. That's okay. I can fix this. This is fixable. There we go. This is a little bit too light. I can go back in. I can go back over that. This is why you want to go very, 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 very slowly. This is an example of the Latrell. Now you can see the gold work is not consistent. This is mine. My gold is not working on this day, clearly. There's inconsistencies. I can go back over and I can add gold in. On this particular design, as you see, there's a lot of gold used. Now, you see that? That can be cleaned up with the pen, with the micron pen. I'll clean up that little line. I use the 005. Oops, there we go, 005. Clean up this little line. And there we go. That's fixed. These lines are very, very tiny. Usually they're a lot fatter. And the fatter the line, it will help repel the paint. So a lot of the overpaint won't happen. It just won't happen. But you see my gold is it's not great. It's not great. I'm going to have to go over it again, and that's okay. One of the things I really like to do personally is I like to use anytime there's gold, I like to put red in it because those two colors pop together, and I like a pop of color. Now, this crystal is very stylized, and since these black lines are already in here, I can't do the turn it into a jewel kind of thing, so I play with it. And this is how I'm doing it. Now, I haven't done any white work yet, except on the little dog, because he's cute. And normally, there wasn't really green used in this, but I wanted to use a little bit of green. Now here, there's a teeny bit of overcolor. I can fix that. With a light scraping. And the light scraping is going to mess with the line because the line is so thin. Again, you'd use a designing with a fatter line is just going to help painters. And I don't know if that's SCA tradition or if that is a an authentic tradition. But here, we're going to go back over the line with our micron pen. Smooth this out just a little bit more because it needs to be smoothed out a little bit more. And this little piece is not fixed, and I don't know why it doesn't want to fix. There we go. And I'm going to fix it by making my line a little bit bigger. There we go. No one will notice. We'll notice because we're doing it, but nobody else will notice. And that's okay. That's okay. So here we get to this one again. And the use of color was really nice. There are colors that I prefer to use that are, as I understand it, more traditional. But that's just me. That's what I understand. Maybe you weren't taught that. That's okay. I'm not here to argue with anyone. I'm not here to challenge anyone. I'm just here to share what I know. And I know a lot just from trial and error. And so, don't do this. Don't put white on a little blip. It's not gonna, this is not white out. Your paint is not white out. We can scrape. And see, they tried with it to blacken the line a little bit. But I do like the little dots that were added. That's very clever. I don't know if that is in this time period or not. I would have to look. And a lot of people are really, they really want to be authentic. And it's good to know the different time periods so that you know what to do and what not to do. If I had my book, I'd look at it really fast, but I'm going to have to dig out my little book. That was a little deep, but that's okay. We cleaned it up. We cleaned it up. We're going to fix the... There we go. My pen needs more ink. We're going to fix that. And when we paint, I don't know how we're going to fix some of these things, but we're going to try. We're going to try. This may be one of those charters that doesn't get handed out. Now, people say, you know, aren't you afraid every time one of your charters gets handed out? Aren't you? The way I answered this, I don't do false modesty. If I've done something well, I know I've done something well, and I feel good about it. If I haven't done it well, I know I haven't done it well, and I don't feel good about it. And I know that's very black and white, but one way that I fix it is by, if I don't like a charter, sometimes that means it's not finished. And so I put it away for a couple of days and don't look at it. And then I bring it out again. And in that couple of days, my subconscious is kind of percolated about it. and I think, oh, I can do this, or I can add this, or I can do this. And then I finish the charter and I go, wow, if I like it, somebody's going to like it. So, and most people like their charters. I like now here we see there's a lot of paint over, and I'm going to try and fix that, one by repainting this, and two, adding a little bit of line. I don't know if that'll work, but that's what we're going to try. So I'm going to paint on this for a little while, and this is not the brush I want to be using. This is not the brush I want to be using. For these big spaces, I want a bigger brush. I want a bigger brush. Again, my paint is like wet toothpaste. And you'll see giving it nice solid color. Gives you a great base. It's a great base. And without a great base, you don't have anywhere to paint. One of the things about getting a nice solid color, a nice solid base, is when you're painting, if you'll notice, I have a long one and then short ones, and I bring it back onto the color because by doing that, if any of the paint dries in between, you're going to have these staggered lines, and the staggered lines, you won't have a straight line, so your eye won't stop. But you'll have staggered lines, so your eye kind of doesn't know where to stop. And that's good. Visually, it's easier on you. I really don't know what we're going to do about this, but we'll do what we can. And just going a little bit slower and painting inside the lines is really, really important. Deep saturated color is really, really important. You want a really, really good base. And so I'm going to have to fix that, but that will be fixed. So I'm going to paint this for now, and I will be back.